Are you in Nova Scotia?
Abby, yes, and not happy.
Oh,
Well,
why?
no, it's the connection thing is really bad.
Well,
See,
it
I'm
looks
out
like
on the,
you're in Abraham Lincoln's house.
no, I'm at this lodge that has terrible service. And so I'm out on the front porch because I can't interrupt the people inside. So we'll see how it goes. But anyway, so we're live. I'd like to get it going to see how long I can participate.
Hey, Uncle Tom.
Okay, everybody ready? Ready?
Ready,
Yeah.
go.
Okay, let's try it out.
Thank you.
Sorry
As-
to push the panic button, but before I talk in Zoom meeting.
Wait, is somebody not muted? Okay. As a preliminary matter, this is Ray Poole. Permit me, Chairman of the Nantucket Historic District Commission. Permit me to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. Let's see, I have Val Oliver.
Aye.
Thank you. Diane Coombs.
Aye.
Great. Thank you, Diane. John McLaughlin.
Hi.
Great. Got that. I think I got that. Yep. Abby Camp.
Aye, here.
Great. Carrie Thornwell.
Here.
Great. And this is Ray Pohl for the record. Staff, when I call your names, if you could respond in the affirmative. Kadeem McCarthy.
Present.
Fabulous. Holly Backus.
Present.
Thank you, Holly. And other speakers will be announced as they come on to the session. Good afternoon. This open meeting of the Nantucket Historic District Commission is being conducted remotely pursuant to Chapter 20 in the Acts of 2021. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will not feature public comment. For this meeting, the HDC is convening by video conference as posted on the town's website, identifying how the public may join. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and that all attendees are participating by video conference. Accordingly, please be aware that other folks can hear you and take care not to screen share your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. All supporting materials that have been provided members of this body are available on the town's website unless noted otherwise. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless the chair notes otherwise.
See my screen, Holly?
So we're about, before we do so, permit me to cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct of the business and to ensure accurate meeting minutes. The chair will introduce each speaker on the agenda. After they conclude their remarks, the chair will go down the line of members, inviting each by name to provide any comments, questions, or motions. Please hold until your name is called. Further, please remember to mute your phone or computer when you're not speaking. Please remember to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. For any response, please wait until the chair yields the floor and state your name before speaking. If members wish to engage in a conversation with other members, please do so through the chair, taking care to identify yourself. After members have spoken, the chair will afford public comment to those members of the public that have joined the meeting and via Zoom. Members of the public who wish to speak must state their names and be acknowledged by and speak through the chair. Finally, each vote taken at today's meeting will be conducted via roll call. All right. Did everybody hear that?
Yes,
Yep.
I make a
Great.
motion to approve the agenda.
All right. Thank you, Diane. On that motion, Val,
Aye.
thank you. John,
Hi.
great. Thank you, John. Abby,
Aye.
and Diane on your motion?
Aye.
Great, and I'm in favor too. Motion carries. We have an approved agenda. We have a couple of consent items here. Val, you need to recuse.
Okay.
There are only two, but so Carrie, if you could sit on in this one, that would be great.
Sure.
All right, so can I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you, Diane. So on that motion, John. I'll move to Abby.
Aye.
Thank you, Carrie.
Aye.
Thank you, John. Are you there? Diane, on your motion?
Aye.
Okay, and I'm in favor too, so that motion does carry. All right, there's one new business item. Do we have Nancy on board?
Mr.
Oh,
Chair,
there.
Oh.
Yes.
I do have Nancy here actually behind me, so she'll be presenting from her seat there.
I thank
Hi,
you for the
Nancy.
opportunity.
Oh,
You
that's
did
funny.
not know me anyway in my
You
mask.
can take the mask off so they can hear you better.
Oh.
Nancy.
Okay,
Yeah.
So are you able to hear Nancy?
I'll speak loudly.
Yeah. Yeah, we can hear.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, it's nice to see all of you. Thank you for the opportunity. And
Likewise.
I'm here today about the shed for 10 and 12 Massachusetts Avenue, a typical 10 by 20 shed. I think the Snowden property you're probably familiar with because they've been building out there for a couple of years, I understand. This will be across the street from their house on the property they own where they already have a boathouse. The shed is made to replicate the boathouse as far as the cedar doors, the black hinges, the extra windows. So I don't know much more about what I can say about the shed, but that's it. If you have
Let's
questions,
take a look at it, Nancy.
okay. I think Kadeem has that up
Oh.
now.
Good, great. And I should ask Kadeem or Holly whether we have Mattakit advisory on this.
We actually do not have Mattakit advisory on this.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think
So
we
we're-
can handle this one though.
All right, fair
Holly
enough.
has some pictures, I believe, that show
Of the other
boathouse.
building?
Yeah, this looks like a construction site because the pod just left when I was there and the shed will be the pod replacement. But the property will all be green lawn. That's supposed to be their game area. And there is screening from the road to a degree. And this is the boathouse and that will be replicated with the shed. These are
Right.
garages
Okay.
across the street with the doors facing Massachusetts. There's another, also the neighbor on the other side. So it's very typical for the area that the shed would be fit in.
Okay, thank you, Nancy. Who would like to start on this? Abby, you
I
want to give it a
will.
try?
I
Val,
I
okay.
think, yeah, this is something that may have probably could have been a consent, and I would motion to approve it as submitted.
Okay, I'm going to hold the motion. Does anybody have any concerns or questions about this shed before I poll the board on the motion?
I
No.
just wanted to ask, are the doors natural to weather like the?
Yes,
Yeah,
they are.
yeah, in the
That's-
infamous white.
No, they're going to replicate the boathouse, which is natural to weather. The rest of it is white. Maybe I misunderstood you. We're going to have the same
Yeah.
nine light fiberglass door on it and 6
Well,
over 6
it's
double
white
hungs.
trim.
White trim, yes.
Yeah. You okay with that, Abby?
Yeah. Yes,
Okay, so Val has made a motion to approve. On that motion, Diane,
Aye.
thank you. John? We'll come back to John. Abby?
I,
All right, Val on your motion.
Aye.
John? I feel bad about this, but, and I'm in favor. So that motion, oh, I think I just heard something. Yes?
He had trouble
Oh.
Tuesday night getting into with
Yeah.
Ron.
No, actually, John might want to turn off his
Change his
video
phone.
because it sounds like,
That's what he
what's that,
did.
John?
That's what-
John?
Tuesday night and it helped.
Yeah, John, you should turn your video off if you hear me, and then we'll be able to hear you better. In any case, that motion does carry 4 in favor. So now I would like to move along to old business. These have established boards. Do we have Robbie Newman on?
Hello?
And Robbie?
Yep. You got me?
Okay,
There I am.
so Robbie,
Yes.
okay. Yeah, I think you know who your board is. Myself, John, Diane, Val, and Carrie,
Okay.
all of whom are present.
Okay, good.
Go ahead.
All righty. So Ray, if I think most of the other board members were on a revision to number 86 Cliff Road just last week. So
Okay.
just to bring you up to speed, if you look at the cover sheet number 1, you can see that we have had a lot reconfiguration here. Okay.
Okay,
That's not mine. That's Dan Malloy's site plan. So if you scroll down to my sheet number 1, keep going. Down. Yep, right there. So you can see in the bottom left-hand corner, that was our original configuration.
okay,
Okay. The new configuration is over on the right where the red bubbles are.
all right,
So what has happened, the neighbors have gotten together. They've decided to do a little land trade here to enhance everybody's property. So that is what's going on with the site. Okay. So we reviewed this a couple of months ago. The delay has been because of this survey issue. Okay. And I believe if you go to the last page, you should have you should have the revisions that were requested along with the latest proposal. So in the left-hand corner up at the top, you can see that I just delineated at your request the existing grade line as opposed to the proposed new elevation grade. In the right-hand upper right-hand corner, you can see that original grade line in red compared to our new proposed grade line, and the reconfiguration of the outside stairway, reconfiguration of that small deck in the back. Bottom left-hand corner, you can see again the original grade line in red, the new proposed grade line in black, and in the right-hand corner, reconfiguration of the outside cellar stair, the window well, and everyone thought that 2 windows in that upper gable were more appropriate than 3. So that is it.
very good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Would anyone care to begin on this?
I didn't have a problem glancing at it, so I don't really have any comments.
Okay. Thanks, Abby. Let's see. Diane, you have anything? Actually, Abby, excuse me, Diane, 1 second. Abby, you're actually not on this.
Oh.
Sorry. But Diane, do you have anything?
Just like you go quickly over the elevations. I'm on the north elevation now. That's fine. And I appreciate the change on the west. I like the broken back.
Mm-hmm.
There's the east. I think that fits in. The only possible suggestion I had there would be a window next to the door on the right-hand side, but it's not.
Oh, yeah.
Not necessary. It's just
Okay.
it would make the building more. And the other one down is the south elevation. Robbie, you going to be able to see that south elevation?
That it may be from Pilgrim Road a little bit, but it's the neighbor has his house in the corner of his lot.
Yeah,
There's a garage. We just got a garage approved on number 86 up in that upper right-hand corner. It's going to be tough.
it's sort of, see, well, I don't mind it. There's nothing wrong with it. And I think you can see houses.
Okay. Is that it, Diane? Diane looks to me to have frozen. Is that just me?
No,
No. Okay. Val, are you ready?
yeah, my concern was merely related to the grading. And he has delineated what's happening. I still am not clear if a bowl is getting filled in or whatever, but it's not shown that way, so.
Anyway, I'm back. I'm back.
Okay. Sorry.
It keeps sweating
So Val,
out.
Val, you're okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Diane, did you have anything else to say?
I am fine. I am fine.
Okay. Thank you. How about you, Carrie?
I have no issues with this. I think it's fine.
All right. Thank you. John, are you with us? Okay. Again, unfortunate. I'm kind of hoping that he turns his video off and he might be able to get some better reception. I'm fine with this. So can somebody give us a motion?
Make a motion to approve as submitted.
Thank you, Diane. On Diane's motion, Val.
Aye.
Thank you, Carrie.
Aye.
Thank you, Diane, on your motion.
Aye.
And we'll see if John's there. John?
Mr.
Okay,
Chair,
I'm
he
in
is
favor.
here, but muted.
Oh, he's muted.
Yeah, and his video is off as well, but he is in the Zoom.
Can we request for him to unmute? He might not be aware that he's muted. Anyway, that motion does carry 4 in favor, so I'm going to move along now.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you, Robbie. So workshop, do we have somebody from workshop on board?
I am here, Mr. Chair.
Oh, hey, how's it going?
All right.
Good. All right, so your board on this, Andrew, is my, there's John. All right, thank you, John. The board on this is myself, Abby, John, Diane, Carrie. So would you like to start, Andrew?
Sure. So this application is for revisions to the main house only. If you will recall, the last time I was here, we were very close on an approval on the main house, but not quite there. I've made some pretty significant changes that I hope you all like. I am not here today with an updated landscape plan, and I am not here today with an updated guest house plan. We are still working on those revisions. So I'm hopeful that today's modifications to the main house will sort of get us over the finish line on this one. It probably makes sense. Holly, Kadeem, I don't know who's driving, just to go down to the elevation pages because
Yep,
changes
Andrew's
are
driving.
okay. Yeah, great. So the elevations are pretty isolated to a few comments that the board had. If you want to stop here, Kadeem, on the north. Last time there was a conversation about the center dormers were somewhat troubling to a few of you all, where we had these 3 individual small little shed dormers, and the suggestion was to combine them into one larger dormer, which we've done on both the north and south elevation, which I actually think it looks fantastic. So thank you for the recommendation. If we go to the south elevation now, where the other changes are really most prevalent. Additionally, you will all recall that we had a fairly large masonry chimney on the western side of the screened-in porch, so to the left of the drawing, that was rising up. That was pretty much a comment by everybody from the beginning that I was somewhat stubborn about leaving. I have since just removed it. seeing as though it wasn't going to get me anywhere. Additionally, I have rectified the porch railing on the second floor deck of the master. However, Ray, I did see though an application submitted by Botticelli and Pohl that had the X railing on the second floor a few weeks ago. So I would love to get a staff approval on this, assuming you approve it, to put the X railing on the second floor deck.
When you say the X railing, you mean like a crossbuck?
The cross, yeah, that's on the ground floor here. I would love to just have it match, but I didn't make that change. Additionally, the dormer has been grouped together on the south elevation as well. I don't know if everybody hears that. That's not me. And those were the three main changes that the board had. It was the dormers, it was the chimney, and it was the second floor deck. So I'm hoping that with those changes, and if we could do a staff with putting the matching railing on the second floor, and I'll deal with the code compliance on my own, that would be fantastic. So that's all I have, Mr. Chair.
I think the issue with the crossbucks, if I could just interject for a second, was not the aesthetics of the crossbuck. It was just the fact that you had a drop off that would require you to do something other than that to meet code.
Correct. But I'll deal with that
So-
at my sign off. Yeah. I like the look though.
All right,
And I want to
but-
bring it to the
but
second
I
floor.
do want to be, Andrew, I want to kind of be clear on something. You know, in the past, people have gotten that approved by putting up like plexiglass or something. And
Yeah.
hopefully that's not the long-term intention.
No, it's not at
Okay.
all the long-term intention. I promise you that.
All right.
Yep.
All right, that's great. So now we can hear from the board.
Mr. Chair,
Yeah, oh, yeah, sorry, that's right.
so I do not have HSAB comments, but I do have some staff comments for your consideration.
Go for it.
On the proposed site layout, it's still the same as was noted, with that tiny view corridor and the garage blocking the main home with the pool. And it was noted at the last meeting that it could be done, obviously with the vegetation, so look forward to seeing that. Appreciate the changes on the north, appreciate the removal of the chimney. Thank you. I think that was everybody's concern as well. There was a comment that Commissioner Pohl made about a lot of lines and roof planes on the north and south. And I just want to reference that is still there. Those are my comments. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Holly, can you clarify? I don't remember what we're talking about on the north and south, the comment that I didn't address. The lines?
Kadeem, if you could go up to
My
the
recollection.
Yep.
Minutes. Here's my recollection. I did make a comment about the three dormers, the three separate dormers as opposed to one unified dormer, and that was corrected.
Yeah.
That's my recollection of what I said.
Mine as well.
Okay. Thank you, Holly. Was that it? Holly's
yes, Mr. Chair, it's just there was a comment in the minutes is what I was referring to, where it said
Well, I wanted to clarify.
there are a
that.
lot
It
of
was really-
lines and roof planes. Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
lot
I
of-
just want to make sure everybody's
Good job.
comments were addressed. Thank you,
Yeah,
Mr. Chair.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, let's see. Abby, are you there?
Yeah, am I unmuted?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, I think the view from the water is fine. And if it turns out that the board likes the crossbucks, I would go with that. So that's the north, I guess that was the north elevation,
South.
front of the house, right?
Correct, Abby.
Okay, so let me just jump to the front of the house. This to me, the north elevation is fine. It's very, very nice design. I think my only pause is the building in front of it and how that front door gets viewable. So this standing alone, I'm fine with all the elevations, so.
Can I,
Yeah.
I remember there was one visual that might be able to help you with that concern. Andrew, are you in control of the screen or is Holly?
It's
I'm not.
me,
Kadeem is.
Mr. Chair.
Oh, but the
Kadeem is.
renderings are updated, Kadeem. If you want to go to the rendered views, they're there in the front.
Yeah, because there is that one that shows the other, like the view down to the front door in 3D.
Is it this here you guys are looking for or something different?
It's in the lower, it's the lower left. It's the lower left view there. But remember, folks, I'm redesigning that building, knowing that the board is not going to approve anything under two conditions. I need to expose more of the north elevation of the main house.
Yes.
And I need to make the back not look like a back, but it's got to look like a little bit like a front. Those were the two primary directives that I was provided that I'm working on right now. So I just don't want it to hold up the house because we're trying to move forward.
Understood. So Abby, to your point,
Yeah, so
I think you just want to make sure that the front door is seen, right?
yeah, I
As a
mean, Andrew
present.
just said it's not going to be, it's probably going to be a story and a half at most, or one story, and it's going to expose the house beyond as much as possible. I think that's what I just heard him say, and that was my
Yes.
concern about the front of the house, is how, you know, that
Great.
oblique angle that we're going to
Okay.
see of that gable, the front gable.
Thank you. All right. Carrie,
I appreciate the changes. I think it looks great. A concern I have is similar to Abby's, that front elevation, which then brings us to the 3-panel glass door on the front and back, which really provides a see-through light view right through there. And that, like, it just depends on how much is visible. I want to see more of this house as well. It's a good looking house. But that is now a concern, but not a huge one. And on the south elevation, the crossbucks would be fine up top as well. But at the same time, I worry that if there's glass, it will be extra reflective. And also if there's glass or plexi, it's just gonna get salted and
Nasty.
death
Yeah.
and ugly looking. So that's, you know, one or the other. I would actually prefer the spindles, but it's not a make or break with the crossbucks because I like those too. Sort of changed my
Okay.
tune on that one, but that's it.
okay. Thank you, Carrie. Let's see, Diane.
Yeah, I think that it looks very nice. My particular thought was I hate to see it go up to 2 stories. I do, however, think with the front door right there, and unless the driveway hides that 3-panel light, it should not be on the front of the building. We have enough windows, fenestration there without adding that, and it isn't that far away from the front door. I have no problem with the crossbucks, however he plans to do it on the south elevation, on the 2nd floor. But my feeling about the glass is not as strong on the south as it is on the north. The south will be seen clearly from the water. And I don't think that there's any problem with that if we knock those glass out of the front so it doesn't go through and it's not on the front of the facade. Have we lost all the chimneys? Or just that
No,
one?
Diane, there's still the one primary chimney. If you scroll down, Kadeem, it's just getting cut off at the top.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. That's it for the moment. Thank
Right,
you.
Diane, thank you. John, you there?
Responding.
Can you go to the north elevation, please?
Oh, boy, he's been drinking again.
I heard north elevation. There we are.
It's the Zoom cocktail,
John?
Abby. That's what it's called.
John, are you there? John? Oh, brother.
You gotta
Okay.
tell him again. If
There he
I'm-
is.
John? All right. Well, Andrew, it
Yep,
sounds like you
lost
have
him.
a couple. What? What? Okay.
Sorry, I was mumbling, didn't realize I was not muted. His screen is blank, by the way.
Okay, thanks, Terry. So it sounds like you've got a few people that are concerned about the triple, I don't know whether we call that a window or a door configuration in the middle of the north elevation on the first floor. Is there
Mhm.
anything you can do about that?
I would like to say if we could, I assure you that between the landscape and the altered positioning of the new guest house, that will not be a factor. If anything, you'll see an upper portion of it, but it will not be a visibility through the house. And I will guarantee that in perpetuity to get an approval here. And
You mean the
we can-
transparency thing or the visibility?
yeah, the transparency thing through. You're not going to, there's zero chance you'll be able to see through the house. We're going to have plantings to mask that because I need to do that for the pool anyway. So it won't be anything based on a perspective from the street that you'll be able to see because it's far enough back.
I can make a motion to approve it with that caveat that we will not see right through the house, that the landscaping will obscure those 3 French doors. If you want to try
Okay.
that motion.
Yeah, that I will try that motion. And Andrew, let's make sure that we understand each other, that nobody wants to see that second floor deck have cross bucks and then plexiglass or glass behind it.
Let's leave it
So
as
it's
is,
up
as
to you.
submitted. Let's leave it as submitted then.
Yeah, I think that
Yep.
that's safer
Yep.
for the moment.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, so Abby has made a motion. We all heard it. So on that motion, Kerry,
Aye.
thank you. Diane, Diane,
Oh, God, I don't know what's wrong. I'm sorry. I don't know what's
That's
wrong.
okay.
Actually, a really good looking house. He's finally got a nice house.
The Zoom
It's
today,
all right.
I've been knocked off 4 times since we started
Oh.
this meeting. So anyway, I am an I, and I'm muting. I haven't said a
Okay,
word,
thank
muting it.
Thank you, Diane.
All right.
John, if you're there, I don't believe you are. Okay, and Abby on your motion?
Aye. I love
All
it.
right, and I'm in favor. Okay, there you go. And
Well-
so I'm in favor too. So that means that the motion carries 4 in favor. Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you all
Look-
for your
we
help
look
on this
forward
one.
to seeing the rest of it. Yeah.
You got
Okay,
it.
Thanks.
Talk to y'all soon. Thanks.
Okay, yeah, okay. Moving right along, we are now at Jonathan Way out in Tom Nevers. Do we have Nathan on board?
Yes, here.
Okay, hi, Nathan.
Hi.
All right, your board on this is myself, Diane, John, Abby, and then we've got a mixture of Stephen, who has joined us, by the way. I see him there. Stephen on the main house, so he'll be talking about this one, and then it goes to Carrie on the cottage and the pool. So let's start right into it. Because
Okay.
I think that you have, well, you know, that we have had issues with John being able
Yes.
to get reception, so he
Understood.
might not be present. But go ahead,
Kadeem?
Nathan.
Maybe Kadeem could move down to the clouded drawings that are submitted yesterday,
Just the next 2
the
pages.
next 2 pages. There they are. You recall, Mr. Chairman, you had left early and we got started and we didn't get finished. But one of the things that we were asked to do were change 3 windows and come back on Thursday. So that's why you see green from 9:02 and red at 9:15. So just to review, the upper attic gable windows were moved in. That was a request by you, Mr. Chairman. And we had taken away the balcony out front on the south elevation. And we had changed the window over that. And you all had asked that we make it even more simple. So we just changed the middle light to a slightly wider by 6 inches, 6/6. So a little further down, please, for the east elevation. There we are. The green shows that we had gotten rid of the front porch, the front balcony, and we had changed the quarter rounds into 6/6s in the attic. And now you see the 6/6, which was a 10/10, into a wider 6/6 at the right. Okay, and to the south, the north elevation, the next sheet, we had in green revised the 3 lights gang windows into 2. And on the right, we had made 1 8/8 at the kitchen in red. And you had asked we go ahead and maul that. Excuse me? Okay, we had mauled the kitchen windows into 2 6/6s. And below on the west elevation, same thing with the removal of the balcony out front and the quarter rounds removed for 2 6. Yes. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Oh, excuse me. I just want to remind you that you do still have photos that we took in the surrounding area that show a lot of, there they are. There are a lot of traditional, so to speak, houses that we took our cues from. And I wanted to also say, we have presented all your wishes and desires and everything you've asked us to the client. We talked to them. And they are still looking for a very simple, ordered, open plan. A traditional Nantucket style, if you will. And especially considering what they were left with the Concom and their envelopes. I just wanted to say that one more time. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I can go, Mr. Chair.
Great. Thank you, Abby.
So Nathan, this has been a formal house from the beginning, so I'm not going to fight that anymore. It just has, it's just the presence it has. It's no fault of your own. It just has that Georgian look. So I have 3 thoughts. I like your previous iteration over the front door with just the 10 light, because I think this expanded 6 light just looks like it was drawn wrong. I like the one you had previously, and ditto on the side of the house where you've done the same thing. You've done a sort of an enlarged 6/6. I think the odd configuration of 10 on the side lights. I honestly, this is so strange because I've commented on the formality so much, but I think the side lights should be bigger. They look really thin, and I would prefer them almost double width of what you've drawn there. So those are my thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Abby. Let's see, Diane, are you ready?
Yep. My only thought about the windows. My thought about the windows on all the sides is we have many different sort of many different kinds of windows. We have that wider 6/6 and then the narrow ones. I don't know. I would rather see a single window than a mold window. So that's a question. I don't think that the side windows of the front door should be double wide. I think that's too wide. Too wide makes the house more formal, which I thought, trying to keep down a bit. But anyway, I think that the windows, I haven't counted up how many different kinds. The only ones that I question are the wider 6/6s, but I'd rather have that than another mold set. I appreciate the triangle windows taken out and the removal of the other roof over the front door. So I think other than that, it will pass. I was interested, and thank you for showing those other pictures. I haven't been out there for quite a time.
Right.
Have gotten there's a lot of very formal houses out there.
There are.
So I take back what I was thinking about the square formality, okay?
Right, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Diane. Stephen, are you ready?
Sure, Mr. Chair. So can we just start from the top on the elevations? I think the north elevation, second floor gable window, both gables, I think that I agree to the extent it's already been said that there being such a dramatic difference is not appropriate. On the next elevation, by the way, I appreciate on the north elevation and the others, that's an open skirt, correct? On the roof walk?
Oh, yes, it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to comment on that.
Yes.
The west, I don't have any concerns about the west. The east, southeast, west, north.
1 second, Stephen. Not sure what is happening there. Where the other these guys? Here we go. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
I think South was it commented the window over the door is too large widthwise. And no offense, Nathan, but it's just proportionally it looks off. And the same for the window proposed on the east elevation in red. Second floor, number 3, I think it is. I'm having troubles bringing this up on my own screen, so.
Stephen, will you prefer those both windows to be number 6s? The thinner, wider, less wide.
I think that would be appropriate, or some other configuration with the muttons. I'm not quite sure which, but without actually seeing it, I can't picture things in my head, so I'm at a disadvantage. Okay, so those are my comments, Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
Thank you. I think I heard John.
Yeah.
John?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Kinda, yeah.
Okay. And the changes requested at the last meeting to update it to what's there today, I think is typical to the neighborhood, and I don't find it really outstanding. Anything wrong with it right now as it sits. So I'm gonna, when it comes to the vote, I'm gonna vote for what's there. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
John.
you. Thank you, John.
Okay, so Nathan, I just have a few things. One, the larger window, I want it to be the same size, the one over the front door by right should be the same size as the other 6/6 windows. I think it looks
That's
incongruous.
fine. Traditionally, they're slightly wider, but that's fine. I think the owner would be fine with that.
Yeah, okay.
That's
And I
me.
agree with Abby on the slightly wider side lights. These are very narrow right now.
Okay, how about,
Um, okay, I'm just making a general comment. We'll see
Yes.
where it goes.
yes,
So all the precedent photos did not show dormers. None of those 5 bays had dormers on the 3rd floor, but I think we've come this far, so I don't love them. I think it is setting a precedent, but I think that ship has sailed. Similarly, let's see, if we scroll down a little bit, Kadeem, I guess I understand why you have these teeny tiny windows up in the attic. I guess my vote would be, rather than them being 6/6, that they could be 4/4. So we had some kind of consistency in terms of the pane size. I also do not like that large window on the right-hand side of the east elevation. I think that should, again, be the same size as the other B windows.
okay,
And if we scroll down a little bit more, you know, I mean, those windows on the right-hand side of the north elevation, I'm sure there's a kitchen there. It's
yes.
the usual. So those are really my comments. Now, folks, can somebody craft a motion for me?
Yeah, I can try.
All right, give it a try.
Okay, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Wider side lights on either side of the
Yep.
door.
Okay.
The center window on the 2nd floor will be the same as I can't see what letter that is.
B. I think it's
B
B.
window.
Number six.
So that's
Okay,
a 6,
6.
okay.
All right.
On the side there, with the
East.
other east elevation, that also larger window will become a 6, I guess. Is that a 6
Yes.
again?
Yes,
Yes. And I think that's it.
Did you get the little windows? 2/2s?
the 4/4s instead of 6/6 in the attic.
I think that's what Ray mentioned.
Yes.
Well, I think that it would be a better pane proportion.
Yeah,
Honestly.
yeah, it would. Yes, it would.
Okay, okay, and I didn't hear that. And then in the attic windows, they will be 2/2s,
4/4s.
4/4s. Okay,
Yes.
okay, that's my motion.
That's your motion. Okay. On
Nothing
that
about
motion, Stephen.
Sorry.
Stephen,
Aye.
thank you. Diane,
Aye.
thank you. John. I knew
He said-
he
He said he would vote for it.
Yeah.
I think that's a
Didn't he-
nay.
No, I think that he was in favor of, it, but I'm not going to speak for John. John, can you say that one more time? Ah, we can't hear you, John. I'm sorry.
Is appropriate for the neighborhood and it's approved.
Provable.
Right.
I'll make a motion to approve it as is.
There's already a motion, John. Are you in favor of approving it?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Okay.
is this forced through staff?
Hey, quiet, Nathan, quiet. We're in the middle of a vote. Okay, so I got John, Abby on your motion,
Aye.
and I'm in favor too. So the motion carries. Now, Nathan, what, did you have a question?
Through staff?
Through staff, yes.
Thank you, thank you.
All these changes are made through staff. You're approved for us, okay?
Great, thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you all
Now we're
very
gonna
much.
move along. Okay, now let's move to your cottage.
Okay. So the south elevation, yes, we changed the half round. We eliminated the half round and the gable dormer within the shed dormer. So that's gone. We also made the 2 mulled units either side of the French doors to be 1 wider unit, and changed the windows either side of the French doors to be windows instead of false door. Yes, those. On the east elevation, you can see that the gables are removed. And also we reduced the depth of the balcony on the south to 4 feet instead of 6. Next page. We changed the gable dormer, it's gone. Widened the middle window to an 8/8, and you can see we removed the mullions either side of the center 10/10. Same thing with the west elevation, got rid of the gables in the background and reduced the balcony to 4 feet. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you, Nate. Carrie, you're on this one. Would somebody care to begin the discussion?
Yeah, sure. I'll do it.
Great, thank you, Abby.
I think the French doors above the French doors should be the same configuration instead of just skinny ones.
Okay.
And then on the back, I was trying to figure out, it's like a test for the eye, like do you have 2 windows that are the same size? I think they're 2 14s and 1 20.
Yes.
20. Is there, I'm just trying to make it a little less chaotic, and I'm assuming there's a stairway or a kitchen counter somewhere.
Yes, yes, downstairs, yes.
What,
Number
which
20.
window is that?
Yes,
The 20?
yes.
Okay.
We would prefer mulled units, but you would prefer it to be 1 window.
So, okay, so if I were to make this a little less chaotic, I would make that window to the right of the 20 another 10. And I think that would give it a little better balance if that was, if you were able to do that.
Into a 10/10?
Yeah, just that, no, that 10 of it marked as a
Number
10
Oh,
on the
that.
first floor.
Okay, well, okay.
I don't know, maybe it's a bathroom. Anyway, that's all I have. I think the other thing is that that balcony looks very deep. I would think you would want to cut that back. It looks a little awkward. Like, geez, almost half. So that's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Okay,
Okay,
all right.
thank you, Abby. Diane, you ready?
Yes, I need to ask Nathan how tall this building is.
I believe it's 23, 21, excuse me.
Okay. I was wondering whether the 2 dormers on the north and the south can be brought in a little bit so they're not so wide with so much space in between the windows. It could bring it in 6 or 8 inches. I think there's just a lot of space up there. And we have sort of a mixture of windows. We're going to make the 2 windows on the deck wider because they're very narrow.
Doors, yeah.
And could I go,
French doors.
yeah,
Right.
Okay.
okay, that is the east. It seems to be okay. Simple. All right, I think this is is not good. You have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 different size windows. And I think I wouldn't suggest hopefully that it go, I would make this dormer come in the same as the other side, which would take some space. I think that the 10/10 window is, you've got 10/10, and then you got what you got 4 of 8/8, and then you have the big 6 on the other on the left side. I would like to see if you can come up with something that would not have quite so many different ones. If you want to stick with that 8/8, maybe it would fit in all right where you have that 20. Then you would have 1, 2, 1, 2, and see what you're going to do with that C and the 21. I just find that difficult for that facade. And let's see the last one. No, and that is fine. I don't have a problem with that. It's just that south facade with the dormer and the rest of it. Other than that, I have no problem. Thank you.
Thank you, Diane. Let's see, we're gonna try John again. All right, John. How about Carrie?
I agree with Abby about the front elevation and the doors. And on the rear, why not just make the number 10 window a 14 and then it all balances out perfectly.
Very good.
Yeah, if that 10 became a 14, it's all a piece. That's all.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I see what you're saying. And
Where's the
keep the
14?
20.
Where's the
Change
14?
the 10 to a 14.
Diane, the 14 is the
Oh,
8/8.
The 8/8. Okay.
It's over a sink.
No,
It's like Sesame Street. Number 10 just doesn't belong. It's the only one.
Well, it belongs inside in the living room versus the bathroom. I mean, we see this very often. If you want us to make that a 10, we could do that and just have the sink in front of it, I guess.
Wait, let me make sure that I understand what you're saying. You're saying instead of turning the 10 into a 14, you turn the 14 into a 10?
No.
Well, that I think that's what you're asking. I'm requesting that you leave it
I think
at 14.
What Carrie was asking, Carrie, I think, was saying take the 10 and turn it into a 14, but maybe I misunderstood.
If you look at the plan, the plan shows that is one open space. Therefore, that's really not a good idea. But we could make the 14 a 10. We just have to have a window dropping behind the first floor plan, please. There you are. You would have the window dropping behind the sink. You see that?
Switch the toilet.
Yes.
Okay. Or maybe we could change the configuration of the sink and the toilet.
Yeah.
At any rate, we could make that a 10 and we can make the 20 number 14. So they match the other two.
That would create a
Okay.
balance.
Okay.
Yeah.
And on the front, yes, we can make those two French doors match the ones below, no problem. I would request that you leave the balcony on the east to be deeper than 4 feet. That 6 is appropriate for the proportion of the width of the balcony.
Yeah, 4 feet.
I think I've hit everything.
Okay.
Except that you asked the height is 21 feet 6 inches on the south and 23 feet 0 inches on the north.
Okay. Thank you.
What do you think about making the dormers a little less wide?
Well, it's architecturally, we're 3 feet 0 inches.
Yeah.
You know, the gable took care of that boredom, and you've asked us to get rid of that. So what we're doing is a more traditional gable / a traditional shed dormer. So
Okay.
I would prefer that we leave it at this time.
Okay.
If you could see your way to that.
All right, so I think I heard a potential successful motion in there, particularly regarding the configuration of the windows on the north elevation. Does somebody want to give it a try? Come
Helen,
on.
we talked about it.
I'll try.
Yeah, great, thank you.
Staff to approve with the north elevation, the 14 on the first floor window becoming a 10. And on the south elevation, the French doors on the second floor matching the French doors on the first floor.
Okay,
But not necessarily with the windows next to them, just the doors.
correct.
Right.
Only the doors.
Yep. That's what I got.
Okay. I think that wasn't there a suggestion to make that middle window a, whatever the window is above it.
14. Right, okay.
14.
Yep, sorry.
Is that
On the
part
north
of-
elevation, the 20 becomes a 14.
Okay,
Well,
and that's your motion.
yes.
Okay, let's put that to a vote. On that motion, Abby,
Aye.
thank you. Diane,
Aye.
very good. John, if you're there.
Hey.
Oh, I heard an aye. Thank you, John. Carrie,
Aye.
on your motion, and I'm in favor. That motion carries. Okay, so now you go to guest house, Nathan. Let's turn to the pool and hardscape. Again, Carrie is sitting on this one.
Okay. The changes from the last time was you had asked that we got rid of any finished cap on the stone walls. And those
Right.
are gone. And as a matter of fact, on the west or left side of the drawing, between the two trees, we took down those seats that surrounded those fire pit. And we're just going to have chairs, and unless Ben Shampoo comes up with a design that you approve. So just to stick in this discussion, Ben is going to be submitting a final landscape plan. Something that Steve had discussed was the front wall that's surrounding the septic. If you go down to the front of the, yes, all the way down to the street, please. Yes, there it is. Now that's pretty much what we have to have to make these buildings work on the site. You know, we're going to have a leach field and septic, as you know. And in this particular area, we're not going to be able to bury it below grade. So this is going to be, I've changed the note to say 6-inch wide by 42-inch high cast in place concrete retaining wall with PT battens, that's just to hold the boards under 1x4 PT vertical boards, bayberry and summer sweet plantings. Now, that was Ben's idea, and I think that's better than what we had. The client wanted it to be stone, and I think it would be much more palatable for you to just have boards, PT boards. And the plantings, I think, will make a lot of difference. You can just see suggestions of bayberry and summer sweet. Okay, so with that, nothing else has changed. Oh, no, I did take away a lot of the pavers or stone patio around, yeah, down a little more. Yeah, you can see I went back to the original plantings of grass or loam around the patio. So I got rid of a lot of the patio, especially toward the east of the second dwelling. That had all stone. I think the client realized that was too much hardscape. And we went back to the original surrounding the pool only. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Nathan. So if I understand correctly, this septic system, which has to be mounted, I get that whole thing, is going to be surrounded with a 2.5 foot high, 3.5 foot high wall.
Yes, correct.
Did you ever have it just sloped down?
You know, I talked to Jeff Blackwell about sloping it. He didn't say it was not doable, but what I did was I said the bottom 2 feet would be sloped at 35 degrees from the top of the, from 2 feet from grade down at, just, yeah, we would see 18 inches of the wall. But the slope would be.
Wait.
Yeah.
Let me make sure I understand, because what I'm personally having a little bit of trouble with is a 3.5 foot high wall. Now, granted, you're going to put wood around it and you're going to have plantings in front of it.
Correct.
That's a fairly high wall. So,
yes.
So you could mound to make the perceived height of the wall, or actually the virtual height of the wall, be less. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, it
we
would
don't
be.
necessarily need to be looking at 3.5 feet of wall.
Yes, that's doable. Right. That's the first thing I came up with. And
all right.
I thought it would be simpler just to submit vertical. So if you want the loam to be sloped, we have 2.5 feet from the edge on the west to the property line. We could do that. We could slope it at about 35 degrees and see virtually 18 inches rather than 3.5 feet of wall.
I don't, Nathan, I never speak for the board, but I think that, having something like that in the front yard, it's a lot of wall. So thank you for the answer. And I'm going to now put it to the board. Who would like to start on this one?
I'll go.
Thank you, Diane.
I would like to see the planting around the septic go all the way up and around that top. I don't want it to stop down there. Summer Sweet is very nice. I have a bunch of it in my house, but it isn't heavy, but it will be there in the summer, and we're not required to cover a septic system in the winter or whatever. So, but I would like to see the planting go up and around that.
Okay.
Fade off if you have to.
No problem.
I would like to get as much planting between the house you have some and the sideline, so that it doesn't seem to. So the house doesn't seem to stretch sideline to sideline. See if we can reduce from view that pool extension. Other than that, I think it will be okay. You're stuck with that septic system. That's hard to hide. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks, Diane. Abby, are you ready?
Yeah, I kind of, it's a shame you have to do that wall around the septic. I would much rather see it sort of into the hill or bermed down naturally, and then have a wall where you really need it once that's done. I don't know the situation entirely, but I'd rather see it done more naturally. You need 4 spaces plus that extra turnaround spot. Seems like a lot of driveway.
Yes, Abby, I was given this infrastructure. I just didn't question a lot because it went through Concom. Jeff Blackwell expressed that we've got what we've got. So work within that. I can plant some trees around the front, and I think Ben Shampoo will come up with a better plan eventually.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit, even though it's I don't know, what have you proposed there? Is that Keystone or what is that? What
This
is the,
bluestone.
no, for the driveway, sorry.
Oh, that's just gravel.
Gravel, okay. It just looks like awful lot of gravel, you know, out there on the moors.
Yeah, Abby, I was given that.
Yeah. Well,
maybe you
I
could
could
reduce it.
you probably, I mean, maybe once you get there, it's gonna turn out that those 2 spots are actually one.
Right.
You size them down.
Right.
But just looking at it, you know, 2-dimensionally, it just looks like a lot of driveway. And then the formality in the back, we already know these people want a formal thing,
Yes,
so I
yes.
understand that. And it's a very small pool, and it seems like it's hidden on the left, and I guess on the right, there's not going to be anybody. So my only concern is the size of the driveway. So, and I'm sure you can narrow that down.
Okay, thank you, Abby. Carrie?
I agree. The only issue I have is how the septic is so contrived. Like, it would just be so much nicer if it can be a little more organic and work with the driveway. And I think Ben will probably do that. And this is an engineer's drawing, not a designer's drawing. So I have faith that Ben will do a much better job in representing the septic and the driveway.
Okay, thank you, Carrie. I'm getting an idea here. John, do we have you?
I'm ready.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. I find that is there a roll up on the pool?
Yes.
I'm sorry?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. All right. The other one, I find it, anything above the first floor is possibly visible from a traveled way. So I'm going to say that I think what's been done there now is appropriate, but we too much time beating the death out of this one. So I'm going to say I'm in favor of this. And
Thank you, John.
Ready to vote for it as it is.
Okay, John, yes, thank you. All right, Nathan, and so.
Thank you.
Thank you, John. Nathan, it's interesting. I guess this is also a question for the board. This is the diagram that got you through the Concom. You inherited
Correct.
it. I understand.
Yes, correct.
And that we all understand you inherited this diagram. We've given you our concerns, which mainly focus on the amount of drive and parking and the mounding of the septic system and how to handle that in the front yard. Not a lot of discussion on the actual pool. So my suggestion would be, why don't we hold this to get the quote unquote real plan from Ben? Is there any need that you have, like, is there an urgent need for you to have an approval on this particular thing right now?
I think they want one soon, but not urgent.
I think they're trying to.
Yeah, so I think
they would like to get into the Concom.
Mr. Chairman, why don't we approve the pool and everything behind the house and hold for like on staff approval, and then but not the front, So staff approved just the pool and hardscaping behind the house,
We could do that.
leaving the rest
Nathan.
open for the next application.
That would be great. We still want
All right.
to get back into Concom soon, but yes.
Right. Okay, so the motion would actually be that we're approving everything that is to the, I believe, north of the house.
Right.
And not yet approving anything that is to the south of the front door of the house, which would include the driveway and the septic system.
Right.
Correct? Does somebody want to make?
Yes, that's my motion.
Okay, so Carrie has made that motion. On that motion, Abby,
Aye.
great. Diane,
Aye.
very good. John? You there? Carrie on your motion,
Aye.
and I'm in favor. So we'll say that that motion carries 4 in favor. Thank
Mr.
you,
Chair?
Nathan.
Thank you for
Yeah.
working. with
Thank
us.
you, Nathan.
Thank you.
This is my last one because I've got an appointment at 2:45 I have to get to.
You
on
mean
time.
this one that we just did, or the one coming up?
Coming up, that's my last
Well,
one.
it's going to be my last, it's going to be everyone's last one because I do want to kind of wrap it at 2:30. So that gives us 10 minutes now. Let's see how this goes because there may be some people that want to speak on this project, neighbors and so forth. So let's see how we do. Okay, Brooke, are you on?
I am.
Okay, good.
Share screen.
Oh, now, all right. Before we even start, Brooke, I want to call your attention to something. Jesse Dutra is on your board. He is not on at the moment.
Yeah.
So that would leave you with a 4-person board. And I will also say that John has been having some issues being heard and communicating with the Zoom. So it could get sticky. To your knowledge, do we have neighbors that are concerned on this that we're going to hear?
To my knowledge, they have spoken at every turn, so I would say that's not going to change.
It's probably the truth. So, I'm wondering here, I know you've been waiting, but first, I think it might be imprudent for you to move forward with a 4, perhaps even a 3-person board on this. Would you agree?
I would. I'm texting my client right now.
Okay. John?
He's fine with that.
Fine with holding?
Yeah, hold
Okay.
for full board.
I think that's in your best interest, honestly, Brooke. With the 4-people board, with neighbors' concerns, it never really works out very well. So can we have a motion to hold Brooke's application for a full board?
So move.
Thank you, Diane. So on that motion, Abby,
Aye.
John,
Yes, aye.
very good. Thank you, Diane, on your motion.
Aye.
And I am in favor of that. So we're going to hold that. Now, how about 2 Chestnut Street?
Let's
How's
go
our
with it.
time? Did you
Mr.
say
Chair,
something, John? Yeah, that was you, Matt?
Yep, I'm here.
Yeah, okay. Thought so.
Actually, Mr. Chair, my internet disconnected for a second, so I'm connecting by my phone. If it's okay with you, I'm gonna just connect with my laptop again, because I think our service just got interrupted for a second. So for the administrator, if they could just let me in, I'm just gonna switch from my phone to my computer, if that's okay.
We just let you in, Matt.
All right, so you're in, Matt.
Got it. Okay, cool.
All right, so listen, Matt, your board on this is Abby, myself, John, Diane, and Stephen. So let's see how far we get on this, because this will be the last application, everyone. Today. All right. Why don't you hit it, Matt?
Okay. What's that?
Go ahead, Matt.
Thanks.
Hey, John, hang on a second. Okay, Matt's speaking. Go ahead, Matt.
Okay, so thank you. So the last time that you've seen this, you had actually asked us to make a few revisions. Just to reiterate to the board, there was an approval for a freestanding structure that was not too dissimilar from this gable forward structure. Some of the comments from the board were to reduce the height of the structure to the height that the previous approval was, and specifically the eave line, which is what we've done. This thing is so difficult.
Okay.
So we actually were able to drop the eave down so that there's actually a couple of steps inside the building on the first and second floors. It's a little cumbersome, but it does work. And I do think that the suggestion by the board was a good one, so that there is a little bit of a hierarchy, so that the main mass is the predominant mass and there is a step down. So I thought that was a great suggestion. We also took the face of the gable and pushed it back further off the back of the building, which was another request. A lot of these changes caused a lot of challenges in the interior layout, which I know is not your purview, but we're able to make it work. Just to reiterate, the quote unquote, the section between the two buildings and between the addition and the existing building, I should say, is literally our handicap accessible ramp. We looked at a number of different incarnations, lifts, switchback ramps, et cetera, and we felt that this was the most creative and the most integrated accessibility ramp that we could provide. I actually really like the way that it came out, and I think that it provides accessibility to the building so that's compliant. But I also think that it's not a visual distraction. We did put a slight archway in that section, which I thought was a bit softer and drew less attention to it. It is a continuous slope, so we do need to keep it open. We also, on the north elevation, the existing shed dormer on the third floor, I think we all agreed was not the most attractive dormer, but it was added at some point and we're retaining it. We felt that the fenestration that was in that dormer was not, the window to wall ratio was not appropriate. And so we actually changed the size of the windows and added 2 additional windows. And I think compositionally, again, working with an existing element that, if I probably wouldn't have added a shed dormer in that form, but it is there and we're working with it. And I think it is an improvement. On the west elevation, we've realigned a lot of the fenestration to be, I guess it's just a little bit more organized, if you will, and it's a function of the interior layouts. So I think it's fairly well balanced. The elevation change and the height change of the eave line did reduce the size of the dormers. So you can see that the comparative previous submission reduction on the right side of sheet 8.2.1 versus the current proposal. It is a much smaller dormer, which I think is a good thing. I would also just point out that the center dormer is actually the protected means of egress. There is the stair that if you recall, we are removing, and you can see in the existing west elevation, we've got that fairly elaborate existing exterior stair that's on the building. And so we are replacing that with a fully compliant protected means of egress, but that center dormer is a critical part of that means of egress. The 2 flanking dormers provide some necessary space on the third floor. Again, you can see the height reduction that we've achieved per your recommendations. You can actually see the existing ridge height of the primary mass in the west elevation and what that height difference is. So it's a fairly significant reduction in height. So I think most of the other changes are pretty straightforward. I mean, I think all in all, I think that the board's comments and suggestions were helpful. And I think as an overall composition, I think it works. So look forward to comments from the board, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Matt, thanks a lot. Holly, do we have anything?
Yes, Mr. Chair. So it did not go back to HSAB for an additional review. However, I did review it
Okay.
based on the commission's comments and previous comments that were provided. Appreciate the arch to the connector, although it is different, odd. Changes to the center dormer. Again, that is a per Clay Lancaster. That is a more contemporary addition onto the Greek Revival. Actually appreciate the changes that were provided. Appreciate the drop to the new second mast, but it's I believe it's still not enough, still too tall. And the 2-foot setback off the facade of the historic Greek Revival is appreciative, but again, is it enough? The third floor concept is still very overpowering to the Greek Revival. And again, remember that the third floor and that existing dormer is a contemporary feature on the structure. But overall, the proposal, it seems to be still much for this part of the old historic district. Again, this was built after the Great Fire circa 1846. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thanks very much, Holly. Abby, why don't we start with you in case you
Okay.
need to jump?
All right. I've got some pretty bad ideas. One of them I just came up with. I was kind of, you know how you did the old doctor's office, that old yellow building on the corner of North Beach and Broad. You know how you combine those two? I was kind of thinking that you might be able to tell a story here about how these got added together. But I was wondering if the facade of the more classic building, that the older one, could be clapboard and be like a dark plum color, and with white trim would really make that entablature around the front door pop. It would be really handsome. I think the other thing is that archway. I'm not sure what's filling in, what's the material around the arch. And I was wondering if that could be a bracket, a decorative bracket that would also be white. And then maybe that window above it could be also be a little more of a decorative connector.
Do that.
And then, it would just make the two different buildings, and instead of trying to make them mesh together as one, you got a gable coming forward. Why not treat them as different? But the white trim would pull it together. And I did kind of think that that dormer over the main front door exists, so I really wanted to see that come off the roof and put in smaller windows, because I think it's overpowering. It's too bad it's already there. But that's all I got.
Okay, those weren't such bad comments. Yes,
Mr. Chair,
Matt.
if I could, I just want to point out two things, but Abby had a question. One is the archway is just, it would just be painted cedar, so we try to keep it fairly simple. But we could do the brackets. I think softening the edge makes sense. And then the other thing, just we are proposing clapboard on the main mass of the existing building. And you can kind of see that the line type between the shingles and the addition. So I think it was a great suggestion, and certainly open to colors.
Oh, well, maybe that's where I got the idea. It just didn't hit
It was
me.
a brilliant idea. Brilliant.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Let's see, who else would like
I'll go.
to go? Diane, you ready? Yeah, great. Thanks. Go.
Who's going, me or him?
I'm all set.
All right, let's take John now that we can hear him. John, go ahead. Uh-oh.
Whatever. I'm
short window.
Thank you. All right. I find this has been a long this structure, and I think it's been given a good, fine architecture job by Emma on this. As a north elevation, get rid of the archway that's there. It's not appropriate for this style where it's sitting. You should square it up at the top and leave it squared. Do away with the arch. As far as I'm concerned, we've worked on this enough. It's ready to roll. It matches the neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you, John. How about you, Diane?
Well, I think it's a lovely building, but I have concerns because of the houses that it's right across the street from this one and this one. They're sort of in a little pocket there because the sidewalk and houses sort of break down after this. And I still think, and I don't know how you do it, but I still think that the secondary building, which was the garage, is too big, too tall, not too big, but it's too tall. I don't know how you could bring it down, but it needs to come down so that it becomes a subservient building to the one next door. It's, as you see the two of them, the ridge line or whatever, that's a long piece of building on that small street. It doesn't have anything that this big at this time on this street. So I have concerns about the amount of building that's there, all connected, whether you have an arch or whatever you have. It's still, I don't know how many feet it is with the two buildings together, but it's too big. And the only thing that could at all change it if you move the old garage piece back, but I'm not sure. I can't see a site plan whether you have room to move it back or you
Mr.
don't.
Chair, if I could, through you, Diane, we did move the face of the building back and we did drop the height by 2 feet.
I know you did. I know you did, but I still would like to have, my thought is not that anybody else thinks this way. I would like to see it bigger because how long are the two buildings together?
Mr. Chair, I'm gonna have to go, like I was really serious about 2:30, so
Yeah, no,
maybe
I
we should
understand.
hope for revisions. If Diane's not happy, because, yeah,
Well, I think this is going to get to a hold for revisions, particularly since you have to leave. So Diane, continue.
Okay, it's too big a building for Chestnut Street. It's too big a building for most streets downtown in the old historic district. Because I don't know of any old house, this was right after the fire, that was built except for the ones on Main Street that are this big. So that's my major thing. The rest of it can be done around, but it is the height and the length of the building that I find disturbing.
Okay. Thank you, Diane. Hold on, Matthew, because we do need to hear from Stephen Welch.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. So on the north elevation, I mean, Matt, I guess one of the things I'd like to see is if you're coming back is a reference set, perhaps the profile of the structure on the corner of Center and Chestnut relative to this one. The other thing is, I don't mind the arch. I think it's successful. I think perhaps simplifying this so it's less Greek revival might be okay. I think my primary concern is appreciate the dormer changes. My primary concern is the connector roof. And I'm wondering if, to me, getting that ridge down lower is more important than even the roof form itself. And to that end, a two-pitch roof where one is the initial above the window is steeper and then it shallows out so that you can bring the overall ridge line down, I think would be more successful. Certainly more of a kind of a quirky nature element. And I don't think that that's inappropriate in town. Other than that, yeah, I would prefer it be smaller, but I think that it can carry its own weight. depending on some of the detailing. And that's what I'll say for now. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Stephen. Okay.
You want a
I
motion?
like the idea.
Oh.
Well, hang on, I just want to just throw in my comments. I don't have many, but I do like the idea of the, to Abby's point, identifying the difference between these two buildings with clapboard. That was good. The idea, Stephen's idea of reducing the roof pitch over the connector piece. I too am okay with that arch. I think there is precedent for it. And like basically everybody said, I mean, if you can get any more reduction out of this, this new piece, that would be great. Just see what you can do. But so why don't we hold this for some revisions?
I make a motion to hold for revisions.
Thank you, Diane. So on that motion, Stephen.
Aye.
Great. John. We'll say that's an aye. Abby. Oh, there's John.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, John. Abby.
She's
Abby?
gone. She's
Oh,
gone.
okay. Diane, on your motion.
Aye.
Great. And I'm in favor too, so that motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, folks. I think that we can motion for adjournment. Thank you all for hanging in there.
So moved.
Motion to adjourn.
Oh, okay. John's made a motion
right.
to adjourn on that motion. Stephen.
Aye. Bye.
Thank you, Diane.
Aye.
Thank you, John.
Aye.
And I'm in favor too. Carrie, are you still there? You in
Yep,
favor of the motion?
Yeah, I do.
All right, groovy. Hey, thank you, everyone. Really
Thanks,
appreciate it.
everyone.
For the rest of your
I'll be
time
back
off.
in Nantucket on Tuesday. Thanks. Bye.
Phew. See you guys.
See ya.